Good morning, Westminster. Welcome to this program. Pull up a chair and bring a cup of coffee and enjoy the show. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, Ken.
And good morning, Boyd.
Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Ken. How are you today?
We're good. And welcome to Cynthia Leach, our special guest this morning.
Hello,
Cynthia.
Welcome.
Greetings, everyone.
Well, first, let's celebrate that we reached the goal for the employee gifts, residential appreciation fund. That is really special.
And Cynthia, you were on that committee, weren't you?
Yes, I was. And Jill Losey is thrilled to have met the $200,000 goal.
Yes, incredible.
That's really, really outstanding. And I know the employees are going to really appreciate getting the residents' gifts, and those will be, I think, distributed Thursday of this week, I believe, Sarah said.
I think they're excited about getting it.
Yeah.
What I hear.
It's the most we've ever raised, so that's really, really good in a year like this.
Wonderful. It sure is. Sure is.
So we have some unfinished business we need to take care of. Cynthia, if you'll excuse us for a minute.
Yeah, the puzzle.
Do we have a winner, or should I even ask?
Yeah, we do. We do have a winner. The puzzle was what word has 15 letters, starts with an F, and has two sets of the same double consonants. And the answer was flibbertigibbet, which is a flighty, nervous person.
And the winner is?
Surprise, surprise. Helen Spear.
Oh my goodness, we should call it the Helen Spear riddle contest or something. So another $10 gift certificate from the Little Store. Congratulations, Helen.
Well, we may have to disqualify Helen, disqualify librarians. I think they have an advantage.
Oh, no, we can't disqualify people. I mean.
How about even your brother in Las Vegas?
Well,
I thought we disqualified him last week.
I think we did. He never sent in the $200 out-of-state fee. So we cut him out after that.
Well, Helen gets her second consecutive $10 gift certificate at the Little Store. She can pick it up from Ruth when she pleases. And we need to have an editorial meeting about this contest with the network and see how we go forward with it.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we've neglected Cynthia enough here.
Yeah.
And she's decided, obviously, to stay with us, which is good here. Cynthia, you are chair of the Building and Grounds Committee, and we have found that there are a lot of people that don't really know what all the committees do. So if you'll tell us what Building and Grounds Committee actually does, and maybe what part, if any, they have had in the building of the new addition and that kind of stuff.
All right. Our mission is we're dedicated to maintaining and enhancing the building and grounds at Westminster. And we have a committee of 12 people. We meet once a month, and we bring issues that we've observed or that residents have reported to us. That doesn't necessarily mean a dink in the wall that needs paint or something like that. Those are items that we asked all residents to report to one of the receptionists in the reception areas. So if you see something that is not right, you need to make sure you know the exact location and go to one of the receptionists and report that. and they'll do a work order and it gets fixed. But if we don't do work orders, then things don't get fixed. So a big issue recently has been washing machines in the Preston, and many of them have been out. And some people think if you put a note on the washing machine saying it's broken, that takes care of it, but it really doesn't at all. And on my walks, I walk every morning, I notice there's a number of them out. And that's another issue that if residents find that to be the case, if they will call reception or go down to receptions, tell them which washroom it's in and ask them to put in a work order, that is the only way that they're going to get fixed. And normally they try to fix them very quickly. If they don't, they do have reserves that they will switch out until they get those washing machines fixed. So we have such a short supply in your building that it's a real issue, but those are the kind of things that we look for and we talk with Chuck about. We're advisory only. We don't tell Chuck what to do or Sarah what to do. They ask for our input on a lot of things and we actively participate. We have not been involved in the new building, but we are involved in the rehabs of the buildings, the existing buildings. We're actively involved. Many of our members love landscaping. So we're actively involved in landscaping in both buildings and have a lot of input there to Sarah on what we would like to see happen and whatnot. So that's probably one of our big areas. We're involved with the rehab of the Preston lobby and dining room. We had input into that. And Chuck has been very nice to ask us about things like that and allow us to give him our ideas. Whether he accepts those or goes a different way is something totally different. But we've been very, very lucky and had a wonderful working relationship with both he and Sarah and find them very responsive to our concerns.
How
Well, I
many
was going
people
to
are?
ask you about landscaping because I'm so impressed with the landscaping around here. And no sooner is there a little square of dead grass than it's a new square of green grass in a few days. And it always looks so nice. All the plants, flowers, new trees, everything looking good.
Well, that's in the Preston. In the Windsor, we don't have a courtyard left. So don't come looking for pretty things because right now it looks like a war zone. But we're anxiously looking forward to the spring when we're told it will be rehabbed and hopefully we'll have input and get a beautiful landscaping like you all have in your building now. We're looking forward to that. We miss that very much.
Good.
Now, that was a necessary fallout of the building of the infill tower
Right.
between the Windsor and the and the swimming pool. So, so how many people are there on your committee, Cynthia?
We have a dozen on our committee, and next week when we have our Residents Association annual meeting, I think everyone will receive a little information about our committees. And for those that are interested in wanting to be considered for service on the Building and Grounds Committee, they'll be asked to reach out to me via an email. And my email address is on the directory. And I think Boyd will also be providing that. It's a popular committee, like several. And so not everybody will be able to serve, but we're always anxious, for people that are interested in new, fresh ideas. We like that. And we do ask you, please don't just come with one issue and that's what you're going to serve for that year. We want people to come that have a broad interest and are receptive and poll their neighbors to find out what issues are of concern to them and bring those to our meetings. We meet for about an hour once a month. And we've been Zooming since I think May. We missed a month or two when the pandemic started, but we're learning how to Zoom and we almost 100% participation. I'm hoping tomorrow that we will have 100% participation in our Zoom meeting. We'll see.
Well, you're one of the most active committees in the Residents Association and really do some important work. We appreciate it.
Mhm.
Cynthia, what are some of your committee's big challenges?
Keeping everybody happy. And that's, as I told Chuck, that's impossible. But no, we really, I had a list last year and all of those things were accomplished this year. And I don't know that we have much in carryover. One of our big concerns is we all are, is with the signage, especially outside. And that has been on Chuck's radar for several years now. And that will be resolved, he tells us, when the the construction is finished. But, you know, it's so hard for visitors to find which building and which entrance we might be at, you know, trying to meet them. And so we've worked on that some. There's been some numbers put up, but it needs to be improved. And also inside the building, the signage is sorely lacking, I think, in certain places, particularly in the Preston building. So that's always an issue. I think that I had asked about having different colored carpets for each floor in your building, and that was decided it was way too expensive. But I think ultimately what I asked for is that they paint around the elevators a different color for each floor, to where a new resident gets off and they know they're looking for blue or whatever. And if they get off on and the color's not blue, they're going to know they're on the wrong floor, because as you all know in the Preston, that's a confusing building and all the floors look the same. That's really, really a problem for new residents, particularly. Even long-term residents have a problem with that. So we're hoping that that'll help to solve that. That's one of the things that we're looking forward to happen.
It's brilliant.
Well, we'll see how. Yeah, I just think it would help some way to differentiate between the third floor and the fourth floor. They just look the same until you get around to the laundry rooms, and they might be a little bit different. But anyway,
well, there's a sign with the room numbers, the room plan right down from our door, and I see more people standing and staring at it. And finally, if I'm walking by, they'll just ask, how do I get from here to there? Because I tried and I got all lost. So I think anything that makes them look different from the other floors would be good.
Cynthia?
well, I use those too on my walks. I get a little lost sometimes looking for a certain apartment. Yes, Ken.
Some of it is not exactly logical. The numbering system is hard if you're not really familiar with it. I find I have to look when I want to know which wing apartment for
Cynthia, tell us about
is in
the courtyard there outside the
door.
bistro. Oh, I'm sorry. What about the bistro, the courtyard outside the bistro? Do you have any new plans for that? I know it's going to be redone.
We haven't seen them yet. They had said that I'm hoping I'd asked that they put a solid roof on the cover on our main patio, because it doesn't have a solid roof. So if it's raining or misting, it comes through. And I think they said that they would do that. And I think that they had maybe talked about some barbecue pits and possibly a water feature, but we haven't seen anything yet. So hopefully we'll get involved in that, but we're looking forward to seeing that.
Is it going to be about half the size of what the courtyard was? I heard that.
I'm not for sure that that's the case. The infill is going to be on the west side, and I don't know if we're going to lose much of the courtyard when all is said and done. They had to tear so much of it up for utilities, and that's been the problem. But I think when it's put back in fact, they're laying wood out there right now, marking off sidewalks. So I don't know that we're going to lose much of the space when all's said and done.
The oval may not be exactly the same as it was, as my understanding,
Right.
but I think most of the courtyard will be the same, or will be there.
Yeah.
But we've
With
lost
different
plannings and things such. It's unfortunate, but that's the price of progress, I suppose. Yeah.
Are they kind of on target as far as their dates are concerned?
Well,
I think so.
Go ahead, Cynthia.
No, I I asked that last week in the Chuck chat, and I think he gave February of 2022 for the infill.
Yeah.
Is that right, Boyd? About a year later for the other building.
Were you talking about that, or are you talking about the courtyard, Carol?
I just meant the whole project. Is everything?
Oh, the whole
on
project is December of 2022 to get into the car line.
But they are now where they ought to be now. Is that?
Yes, they're on schedule. And the big crane will be moving in before Christmas, I understand, into the hole that they have out there. So they'll start putting in piers, and it's a very deep hole if you've looked at it on the
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but they've got.
And I might say that to our
Hopefully
Preston folks, if y'all haven't come over to the Windsor building and come to the 4th or 5th floor and go to the northwest corner, because that's the only place where there's still glass. And you can see the construction going on, the heavy equipment, the dirt and the trucks, and it's really fascinating. In fact, we've been thinking we should charge for people to sit in those chairs and watch it. It'd be a great fundraiser, I think, because there's a lot of interest in it. But a lot of people don't know that they can come over there.
It's a good idea. Good idea.
But you're saying the courtyard outside the bistro will be ready before that, right? Before
That's
2022?
what we're saying.
We're hoping this
That's what
next spring. Yeah.
And we're hoping too. A lot of us enjoy it out there very much in the evening. So that'll be great if that can get finished. That'll be really nice.
And
Yeah.
the gazebo wasn't affected, right? The gazebo has,
Well, all the electricity's been blown out in it.
well,
So there's some repairs to be done there, but I mean, it's still standing, but there are repairs to be done.
so your committee meets, how often did you say? Once a month?
Yes, sir. For an hour.
Yeah. So if people who are watching have some particular issue that's been concerning them, you told them your suggestion was to turn in a work order. I suppose
Right.
they could also contact some member of the committee and ask that be brought up at one of your meetings. Would that work?
Yes, that will. And I think, boy, aren't all the committee listings on the portal? I believe. Aren't
They should be. Yeah, they are. They are.
Okay.
And the committee reports that will be going out to all the residents. I think tomorrow we'll also have the contact information for every committee.
And let me say one more thing that I didn't know for the longest time until I became chair. But in the library, if you go in and you go to the right, past the card catalog, down below are some doors. And behind those doors are binders of the different committees. And the minutes or the actions taken by the committees are in those binders. And I try to update it every month. We get an action sheet from Sarah Lloyd about things that we recommended and the status of them. And so I take that and put it in there each month. So, and I think the other committees are supposed to maintain those too. So if somebody has an interest in something, they're certainly welcome to go and look in those binders, give them something to do.
That's
If
right.
you're on that committee, is that a 2-year thing or is that
No.
just for the chairperson?
1 year. 1 year.
Oh, 1 year, 1
And
year.
you have term
Yes, ma'am.
limits on your committee? Do you have term
Well,
limits?
no, but we like to try to, work new people in as much as we can. Boy, all the committees are 1-year appointments, aren't they?
They are, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay.
But I think we
Well-
have term limits on, I believe on the food committee. I think you can only serve for 2 years or 3 years, something.
Everybody wants on that committee.
Everybody wants on the food committee, or they used to. I don't know how they feel about it now. Things are a little different right now. So, well, Cynthia, it's been good to talk to you about building and grounds. What else are you doing to keep yourself interested?
Yeah,
I know
y'all see here.
you have some outside properties you're looking after, and so you're getting out in the world a little bit. I'm sure wearing your mask and socially distancing out there.
As little as I have to, I go out. But yes, I have 3 duplexes that I actively manage. And most people know I walk all the time. So I try to I'm averaging about 14,000 steps a day. I may have to back off a little bit. My feet are telling me that that's not good. But anyway, I love walking and I love going outside. And I try to walk the buildings. When it's bad, I walk all the buildings, the floors, and try to walk outside. That's where I get to see a lot of what's going on. So I enjoy that very much.
Have you walked over at the Grove?
Yes.
And how does
It's
it look?
amazing.
I can't see the back side of it. So how does it look back there?
It's very strange. It's very different lifestyle than anything we're used to around Austin. And I see a little kid riding a bike, in the driveway or behind the garage. And, it's very compact. There are a number of residents toward the back. There's one whole section that seems to be mostly full, but they're just working away. And both of those apartments over there are open and available for rentals. So
Yeah, there's a big sign hanging down saying we are open or something. So how's the park over there?
well, it's not finished yet.
It's
And
not.
I'm guessing they're purposely doing that because they don't want to. I've been run out before in the mornings when early on, and they don't want people in there where the construction is. So I think that's why they're purposely probably not finishing that. It's going to be beautiful,
Yeah.
but it hadn't been finished yet.
Well, maybe we'll all be able to go over there once the pandemic is over. So it'd be nice.
Boyd, one of the things that they have around already, even some off of Jackson Avenue, are some little barbecue pits. If you wanted to take a hamburger or cook a hamburger or cook a hot dog, you have to bring your own charcoal, I guess, but they're already set up in a number of different locations.
Do you think they intend for us to walk over there and have a barbecue?
Yeah.
Here we can carry everything on our walkers. It'll work out
Yeah.
well.
So is that a,
We ought to have a Westminster Day cookout and have all the residents here go there and
so
have a cookout.
is that in their pocket parks? They have some little pocket parks. Yeah.
Well,
Okay. So I guess those are
Yes.
public then. That's interesting.
Mm.
And the red lights, you see the red lights, I guess, the traffic lights on your walks. This one at Jackson and Bull Creek is operating. Is that the only one you've noticed operating so far? New
No,
traffic
there's
light?
one on up. No, there's one up on Bull Creek. It's right at the garage for that big apartment complex.
yes,
And that
perseverance.
one's operating?
Perseverance.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Creates a real havoc up there right now because there's only people coming out of the apartment house in the morning and evening primarily, and yet
Yeah.
it works all day. We have a lot of trucks and stuff backing up during the day.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Yes,
kind of
it'll
in
be-
favor of putting parking traffic lights along the street. Maybe it'll discourage people from coming this way. I don't know. We'll see.
That and the humps. The
And the
humps have done
yeah.
that too, I think.
On Jackson, yeah. So you mentioned the washing machines. Have you got any other major projects that you are keeping your eye on that you'd really like to see accomplished in the next few months?
No, not really. You know, he's still finishing up the windows over in the Preston, putting the film on them and whatnot, and the caulking and whatnot. I think that's, going to be finished very soon. And I think all the big equipment up on the roof is not quite finished, but I think it's very soon. So, I understand that they're going to be repainting all of your hallways over there. I think they're going to be resurfacing the walls to texturize them smoother. And then I think they're going to maybe be replacing all the handrails and painting those. So they're not finished in your building in the Preston by any means. And it's going to be a long project, I'm sure, but it'll sure look pretty when it's all done. But those are big projects that we know of right now.
And so did you all have much input on the new, the terrace out in front of the Preston driveway?
Yes, we worked with Chuck on that. And, I was really pleased to see last week that the new exercise lady is people going out there exercising in the morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's great. Yeah, people drive by.
Here.
What's happening? That's
What
good.
time was that, Cynthia?
I don't
was
know.
that-
It was in the morning.
Early,
It was in
early
the
or?
morning. Well, I'm sure
I'm not
9 or
sure.
so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it was in one of her announcements. I haven't met her yet. Have you all met her?
Yes,
Yeah.
she's fantastic. She's absolutely fantastic. She's from France, but she does not have an accent.
Well, she's really good at figuring out spaces. I meet with a small group on Thursday mornings at 9:30 in the game room, and she had her exercise class in the bistro this morning. So I guess they couldn't use the hall, so they were able to
for
find
her.
a place.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's
Very
good.
innovative.
Yes.
Well, Cynthia, thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it. And
Thank you
happy
so-
Monday, everybody.
Good to see you, Cynthia.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When we were talking about Cynthia coming and buildings and all that stuff, Boyd and I said the other day, maybe we should talk about some houses we've lived in or buildings or something or other like that.
Yeah,
And-
you all have some good building stories.
Well, the one house that we built was our house in Colorado that we built in 1999. And the only thing I wanted to tell about it was It's so different than if we had been building a house in Austin, I would have been on top of them every single day. But when it's in Colorado and it was hard to get there, the closest you could get was Colorado Springs and then drive an hour and a half. So we only saw it maybe 6 times in the whole time it was being built. And one weekend I was going to go up, our builder said, you have to come choose the exterior paint. So Ken wasn't feeling well, so I just got a Southwest flight to go up on Friday and come back on Sunday. I got to Colorado Springs on Friday, rented a car, had the air conditioning on in the car the whole time, driving to the little town close to where our house was being built. I even drove right by the road, the county road where our house was, and I thought, should I see if the contractor's up there? So I just drove up to see. Well, he wasn't, but I got a glimpse of 3 panels of wood out leaning against the house with different shades of tan. Just watch them. So I said, oh, well, I guess we'll talk about those tomorrow. So I go into Colorado to Salida, which was near there, spent the night in a motel, woke up the next morning and it was a blizzard. Just literally, I mean, I turned the TV on and it was the start of a 3-day blizzard or something. And I called our contractor and I said, I have to start right away back to Colorado Springs or I'll get stuck here. And he said, oh no, I had so many things to cover with you. And I said, well, I'm sorry if I don't leave right now, I'm not going to make it. And he said, well, did you drive up there? Did you see the paint samples? And I said, I just saw 3 pieces of wood with a little different paint on either one. And he said, well, which one do you want to use? And I said, gosh, I hardly looked at him, but let's go with the one on the left. You know, about, okay, I don't know. I don't remember what they looked like. He said, okay. So that's what we did. And I did have a horrible time driving back in the snow. I had to keep getting out and scraping a little hole to see. And so we ended up with that. He painted the whole exterior of that paint. And fortunately, it was, any of them would have blended in with the woods and everything, which is what we were after. But I thought, my gosh, I'd never build a primary residence like in Austin or something and say, well, let's go with whatever you had on the left there. So it was a very interesting experience when it's that hard to get there to even check on
You
it.
must have really trusted your contractor.
We did, and we knew it was a vacation home, not big a deal.
What was the altitude there?
6,000.
Yeah.
Hey, boy, what about you? You had some housing experiences.
Yeah, we had several. We built a vacation house at Lakeway, and we didn't have to go as far as you did. But I won't go into all of the reasons that I learned to distrust my contractor, but I did. So we have a way of building at the height of the market when prices are the highest and good help is hardest to get. That's if we figure out that peak, that's when we build, because it just seems to work out that way. But no, what I was going to tell you was about when we got transferred from Pampa, Texas to Charleston, West Virginia. And it was quite a trip up there. We drove up and we'd rented a house, and a big old house, and we got there and got settled in. And so I said, well, how do we subscribe to the newspaper? And so somebody told us, and I subscribed to the Charleston Gazette. And the next day they delivered it. And I opened the paper and it said, Boyd Taylor dies. And so I thought, well, this is not a very good start. But it turns out that there was an IBMer from St. Louis whose name was Boyd Taylor.
Oh,
I never met another Boyd Taylor in my life. And they had just moved the week before we did. And, and in fact, she wasn't there, and her husband was up in Charleston and died when she had to move in with that all happening. And so we became friends, and lovely woman, and really had it was a tragedy. And we kept getting her mail, we get her tax returns, and we get everything screwed up between the two Boyd Taylors at the Charleston post office. But At any rate, that was my welcome. That was our welcome to to Charleston, West Virginia.
Pretty shocking.
How long were you there?
We were there 3.5 years, and it was a wonderful place. Our son was in 6th grade when we moved. And Charleston is a great place to raise kids. And it's like 2 different countries. The people that live in the cities, you know, a lot of them are company people who move in and out, don't stay a long time, or they're old time Charleston landowners or coal operators. And then there's the rest of the population that lives down in the, or in those days, lived down in the hollers. And it was, the extremes were just hard to imagine. Yeah. But for us and where we were, it was really, schools were good, you know, and the people were nice, and we enjoyed it a lot.
So
So,
what else is going on at Westminster, Boyd?
well, tonight is the Residents Association annual meeting. It's at 7 o'clock, and it'll be on a Zoom meeting, and everybody will be getting an invitation to attend. If you don't get one, we'll on Monday, on today sometime, we'll notify Ruth that you want an invitation, and she will be sure that you get one. This is the important meeting. It's our annual meeting for 2020, and we are going to elect 5 people to the executive committee. One of the nominees for re-election is our guest today.
Man.
And then we'll have a report from Jill Losey about the holiday fund, and we'll have a report from Chuck Borst about the conditions, the expansion of his usual reports. And we'll have a wonderful treasurer's report from Mary Bowles, which is always interesting and a lot of fun. So I hope everybody will make an effort to attend tonight's meeting.
Well, it's Christmas season, and there are some musical programs going on in the Preston Courtyard. I think on Thursday and Saturday afternoons, we're going to be having some live Christmas music. So put that on your calendar, and maybe it'll be good weather for those.
And good holiday movies. Good holiday movies on 1890 all week long.
I think Ruth has us scheduled with every holiday movie that's been made between now and Christmas Day. So she does a great job. So I think that's about all the time we have today. I want to thank you, Cynthia, for being with us as our guest today. And all of you viewers out there, keep those emails coming, and let us know what you'd like for us to discuss. And in the meantime, be sure you stay safe and stay well. Goodbye, Cynthia. Goodbye, Ken. Goodbye, Carol.
Bye, Boyd. Bye, Cynthia. Thank you.
Bye.
My pleasure. Thank you.